The real daughter was knocked unconscious by her biological parents and brother with a single heavy blow and carried into the operating room. Their purpose was to force her to donate a kidney to the gravely ill adopted daughter, the fake heiress. However, the moment the doctors began the surgery to swap kidneys between the two sisters, they instantly froze, because they found no kidney inside the girl's body at all. Instead, they pulled out two huge cabbages with shocked faces. In her previous life, the girl who had just reunited with her birth family donated a kidney to the sickly adopted sister to win her parents' favor. Yet once the surgery was done, she learned that the scheming adopted sister had been faking her illness, and her true intention was to force the girl to donate a kidney so she would die on the operating table. Only at that moment did the girl understand that all her sincere devotion to this family had been fed to dogs. Overwhelmed by rage, she spat out a mouthful of warm blood. Then she unwillingly let out her final breath. Maybe the heavens wanted to give the girl one last chance for revenge. So in the next second, she was reborn on the very day she was being forced to donate her kidney. At this moment, the conniving adopted sister was crying to their parents with a pitiful expression, saying the older sister deliberately fell down the stairs at home just to avoid donating her kidney, claiming she would rather harm her own body than save her. As expected, the mother immediately began scolding the girl, saying she was avoiding her responsibility with such a shameless trick. The brother quickly rushed over to comfort the adopted sister, saying that even if the girl refused to donate, she still had to. And the father stood up and slapped the donation agreement onto her face, telling her to sign it. Little did they know the girl who had lived a second life would never indulge them again. Seeing the whole family stand up for her, the scheming adopted sister walked straight over with a pen and demanded she sign, but the girl simply tossed the pen aside. Then she rolled the agreement into a ball and shoved it into the adopted sister's mouth. Even that wasn't enough for her to let out her anger. She then beat the scheming sister fiercely right in front of the entire family. This instantly infuriated the father, who prepared to teach her a harsh lesson. However, the girl pulled the adopted sister in front of her, using her as a shield. Seeing he missed his first slap, the father tried again. Unexpectedly, he still ended up slapping the adopted sister across the face. Witnessing this, the father squinted to take careful aim before striking again. Yet he still hit the wrong person, making the adopted sister's nose bleed non-stop. After venting her anger, the girl prepared to reveal the truth, saying the scheming adopted sister was never sick and her kidneys were perfectly fine. But her older brother immediately refuted her, saying he and their parents had seen the medical report and it clearly showed kidney failure, accusing her of making excuses to avoid donating. But the girl said kidney failure patients usually look exhausted and have no appetite. Yet the adopted sister looked lively and energetic, nothing like someone near death. Hearing this, the adopted sister panicked and accused her of slander, adding she was just hiding her pain and didn't want the family to worry. Upon hearing that, the girl suggested going to the hospital for another check so everything would be clear. But the scheming sister refused with various excuses, and even claimed she wanted the girl to donate so she could recover quickly and marry the richest heir's son. That way she could help expand the family business. At this point, the father finally felt guilty, so he offered to give the girl a portion of the company shares as long as she donated her kidney. Hearing this, the girl instantly thought of a clever plan to gain benefits without donating, so she demanded half of the shares or there would be no deal. Though reluctant, the father eventually agreed. After leaving, the girl immediately hired a hacker to break into her father's computer. She replaced the donation agreement stored inside. Then she told the hacker to investigate the adopted sister's medical files and send them to her quickly. The next day, the girl received the report, and it clearly showed the adopted sister had perfectly normal kidney function. But just as she headed upstairs, she ran into the scheming sister. Without a word, the other girl pretended to fall on purpose and screamed dramatically, and the parents and brother rushed over when they heard the noise. Seeing this, the adopted sister instantly began crying pitifully, claiming the girl pushed her down the stairs on purpose. As expected, the parents and brother became furious, saying she was cruel and heartless for refusing to donate. They didn't know the girl had secretly installed surveillance at home, so she immediately took out her phone and showed them how the adopted sister had acted. Yet the blind-hearted family still defended the adopted sister, saying she must have slipped because she was weak. Helpless, the girl showed them the medical report. This shocked the whole family beyond belief. They urgently questioned the adopted sister about what was going on. The scheming sister quickly insisted the report was forged by the girl, but the girl said they could all go to the hospital to verify it. Seeing she could no longer argue, the adopted sister had no choice but to follow them for another test. The girl originally believed she would finally expose the truth, but when the results came out, the doctor claimed the patient was in late-stage kidney failure and needed an immediate transplant to survive. Hearing this, the girl was completely stunned. She couldn't understand how the scheming sister, who had been healthy in her past life, now showed severe kidney failure. Little did she know the adopted sister had bribed the hospital doctor long ago. The doctor said the situation was critical and they needed a matching kidney right away. The older brother demanded the girl donate immediately or face consequences, and the father insisted the surgery be done at once without delay. The girl knew this family would never let her go, so she pretended to agree, then claimed she needed to use the restroom and slipped away trying to escape. But the moment she jumped out the bathroom window, someone hit her on the head with a stick. The cruel family had already guessed she would try to run. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself lying on the operating table. The scheming adopted sister stood proudly beside her, telling her to prepare her final words, saying she wouldn't even have the chance to speak soon. Yet the girl remained completely calm. Even as the doctor began the surgery, she showed no fear, because she had fully prepared and would never let the scheming sister succeed. When the surgeon saw what was inside the girl, he froze in shock, because the organ he removed from her body was a large cabbage. And this time, the adopted sister was the one completely stunned.